Did the most successful club in football history truly earn their unmatched status, or was their path to glory paved by political intimidation, systemic corruption, and refereeing decisions so blatantly controversial they altered the course of sporting history? Is the legendary white jersey a symbol of pure excellence, or is it a carefully manufactured myth designed to hide a dark, institutional shadow? Madrid, Spain, May 28, 2016. The high-stakes tension inside San Siro Stadium is absolutely suffocating. The Champions League final has descended into a fierce, exhausting war between Real Madrid and their bitter city rivals, Atletico Madrid. In the 15th minute, a soaring free kick is swung deep into the Atletico penalty area. Gareth Bale flicks it on, and Sergio Ramos bundles the ball into the back of the net. The stadium erupts. Real Madrid takes the lead. But look closer at the television replay. Ramos is clearly, undeniably standing in an offside position when the ball is flicked. It is a textbook violation of the rules. The linesman's flag stays down. The referee points to the centre circle. Years later, the head referee of that very match, Mark Clattenburg, would publicly confess to the world, "The goal was offside. We realized it at half-time. It was a mistake." A mistake that defined a trophy. A mistake that broke a rival's heart. For millions of fans across the globe, this was not an isolated error. It was simply business as usual for Los Blancos. This is a cinematic, critical journey through the hidden history of Real Madrid, uncovering the political leverage of a dictator, the highly suspicious modern refereeing scandals, and the unyielding institutional power that leaves the footballing world asking if 15 crowns were truly won or systematically taken. To understand why the spectre of corruption has always hovered over the Santiago Bernabeu, we have to travel back to the dark, oppressive era of 1950s Spain. The country was trapped inside the iron grip of General Augusto Franco, a brutal military dictator who used fear, censorship, and violence to maintain absolute control over the Spanish population. Originally, General Franco was not a football fan, and his regime initially favored Atlético Aviación, the military's official team. But as the European Cup was created in 1955, Franco realized the immense geopolitical power of the sport. He needed a shiny, glamorous ambassador to mask the atrocities of his fascist regime to the rest of democratic Europe. He chose Real Madrid. The club became known as El Equipo del Régimen, the team of the regime. The state tightly aligned itself with the club's iconic president, Santiago Bernabéu. Foreign diplomats visiting Spain were routinely brought to the stadium, and Real Madrid's historic 5 consecutive European Cup victories from 1956 to 1960 were aggressively used as national propaganda. But the most damning evidence of institutional corruption during this era lies in the infamous transfer saga of Alfredo Di Stéfano. Di Stéfano was a footballing god, the most coveted player on the planet. In 1953, Barcelona had successfully negotiated his transfer from River Plate, and Di Stéfano had already arrived in Catalonia, even playing in friendly matches for the club. But the Franco regime could not allow their bitter Catalan rivals to possess the world's greatest talent. Through direct political intervention, the Spanish Sports Ministry suddenly enacted a bizarre, unprecedented law banning foreign player transfers, completely freezing the deal. Under immense institutional pressure and threats from the capital, Barcelona was forced to back down. Real Madrid swooped in, took the player, and Di Stéfano would go on to lead them to their first 5 European titles. The foundation of Real Madrid's global empire was not built on fair competition. It was built on state-sponsored theft. As the tournament transitioned into the modern UEFA Champions League era, the political shadows shifted. but the staggering pattern of highly controversial, game-defining refereeing decisions only intensified. Opposing fans and European clubs began to whisper about a hidden phenomenon, el miedo escénico, the stage fright that seemed to paralyze referees the moment they stepped onto the pitch at the Bernabeu. The modern era of controversy truly ignited in the 1998 Champions League final against Juventus. Real Madrid had suffered a devastating 32-year drought in Europe's premier competition. They were desperate. In the 66th minute, Predrag Mijatovic latched on to a deflected shot and scored the only goal of the match, handing Real Madrid their 7th crown. But the Juventus players immediately surrounded the referee in absolute fury. Television replays clearly showed that Mijatovic was significantly closer to the goal line than any Juventus defender when the ball was played. A blatant, clear offside. The goal stood. A generation of Juventus legends, including Zinedine Zidane, was denied glory by a blind assistant referee. But that was nothing compared to the absolute refereeing catastrophe of April 18, 2017. Real Madrid was facing Bayern Munich in a crucial Champions League quarter-final at the Bernabeu. Bayern had put on a tactical masterclass, leading 2-1 and pushing the tie into extra time. Then, Hungarian referee Viktor Kashai took center stage, delivering a performance so heavily compromised it sparked international outrage. First, Arturo Vidal was shown a highly controversial second yellow card and sent off, despite clearly winning the ball in a clean tackle. Bayern was reduced to 10 men. Then, in extra time, Cristiano Ronaldo scored to make it 2-2. Look at the tape. Ronaldo was nearly 2 yards offside when the ball was passed to him. Minutes later, Ronaldo scored again to make it 3-2. Once again, he was completely offside. 2 offside goals allowed and a phantom red card issued, all in the span of 30 minutes. The Bayern Munich players were so disgusted that after the final whistle, several stars reportedly stormed the referee's dressing room, shouting in protest at a match that felt entirely rigged from the start. The peak of Real Madrid's modern controversial dominance occurred during their historic three-peat under Zinedine Zidane from 2016 to 2018. To the media, it was a legendary achievement, but to tactical analysts and opposing managers, it was a dark trilogy of systemic refereeing favoritism. The very next year, in the 2018 quarter-finals, Real Madrid faced Juventus. Juventus had pulled off a miracle, winning 3-0 at the Bernabeu to tie the aggregate score at 3-3. The match was seconds away from extra time. In the 93rd minute, the referee awarded a highly soft, incredibly controversial penalty to Real Madrid for a minimal contact challenge on Lucas Vázquez. The Juventus players went completely ballistic. Their legendary goalkeeper and captain, Gianluigi Buffon, lost all control, screaming in the face of the referee before being shown a straight red card. Cristiano Ronaldo smashed the penalty home and Real Madrid advanced. After the match, a bitter Buffon did not hold back to the cameras, famously stating, "The referee didn't have a heart in his chest, he had a trash can." That same season, in the semi-finals against Bayern Munich, the pattern repeated. During the first half at the Bernabeu, Real Madrid defender Marcelo clearly blocked a dangerous cross inside his own penalty box using his hand. It was a clear, undeniable penalty for handball. The referee waved play on. Marcelo himself would openly admit to journalists after the game, "Yes, it hit my hand. It was a penalty. If I said otherwise, I'd be lying." Time and time again, in the absolute heaviest moments of competition, when a single decision would eliminate Real Madrid, the whistle blew in their favour. It was no longer a statistical anomaly. It felt like an unwritten rule of European football. Real Madrid simply cannot be allowed to lose. When Real Madrid captured their 15th Champions League title in 2024, the club's marketing machine celebrated it as the ultimate proof of their unparalleled DNA, their unique mystique, and their supposed European royalty. But history cannot be erased by public relations campaigns. When you strip away the glamour, the glowing montages, and the golden trophies, a highly troubling reality remains. From the political manipulation of the Di Stéfano transfer under a fascist military dictatorship to the blatant offside goals allowed in finals, the phantom penalties, and the unpunished handballs of the modern era, Real Madrid's 15 crowns carry a profound asterisk. They are a club that operates with institutional immunity. This systemic favoritism has fundamentally distorted the history of European football. How many historic clubs, how many generationally brilliant teams like Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid or Pep Guardiola's Bayern Munich were completely robbed of their rightful place in history just to feed the insatiable hunger of the Madrid myth. The original European Cup was built on the beautiful, simple ideal of crowning the absolute best team on the continent through fair, sporting merit. But as long as the shadows of these controversies linger over the Bernabeu, the footballing world will always look at the 15 crowns of Real Madrid with a deep sense of cynicism. The trophy room in Madrid is undeniably full of gold, but a title won through controversy can never truly shine. They hold the trophies, but history holds the truth.